darling heart, and welcome to the Drink Less, Live Better podcast. This is the podcast that helps you to see that drinking less doesn't need to be stressful, lonely, or boring. I'm your host, Sarah Williamson, and I decided to have a year alcohol-free as a little life experiment and haven't looked back. With my experience and training, I now help other people with their alcohol-free or drink less adventures. You can find out more and sign up to my 5-day Drink Less challenge at drinklesslivebetter.com. I'm here to tell you that you can relax, connect, and have fun without alcohol in your life. Join me here each week to find out how. No news. At the very start of 2019, I was in the kitchen one breakfast time when a news item about a stabbing came on. One of my boys started to ask me questions about the incident, none of which I could answer. They were questions about detail, which I didn't have, and also questions about bigger life issues, which at 7 a.m. I was struggling to get my head around too. So I turned the radio off, told the boys that we would chat about it later, and then removed the radio from the kitchen. I've always had a radio in my kitchen and always listened to a talk-based radio station, so it felt a bit odd for the first week or so. But over time, we began chatting more as a family in the mornings because we didn't all have half an ear on the news. A short while later, a mentor, retreat leader and friend of mine told me she no longer watched the news, and there began a whole new way of living for me. I never questioned her decision or asked for more details about the choice she had made. I knew something in me had flipped. I was no longer going to consume the news. Next time I was going to my car, I took a selection of my old CDs and a charger cable to plug my phone in to listen to audiobooks or podcasts when I was driving around. Mr. W and I always used to watch the 10 p.m. headlines together, but I decided to leave the sofa at 9:59 and hop straight into bed at that time. I stopped buying my local newspaper and I stopped buying the Sunday paper that I used to buy about twice a month. I've never had any news apps on my phone or news websites saved, so I was already safe from notifications and alerts. Mr. W would occasionally say, "Oh, did you hear such and such on the news?" And I would reply, "Nope, remember, I don't get the news anymore." And then we'd start talking about something else. When COVID hit, I questioned my decision. Was I being willfully ignorant? Well, no, actually I don't think so. I was working in local government at the time, and all my work was face-to-face with very vulnerable people. My line manager was masterful at protecting his staff team and giving us all the information we needed to do our jobs as safely as possible. There was no way the media, local or national, could have helped me out on that one. I was aware of what was going on because, of course, people told me. Sometimes I was willing to listen to a bit of detail, but mostly not. I don't feel like I'm missing out by not keeping up with the news. I'm acutely aware of what I can control in my life, and I know most of what I would see, read, or hear on the news doesn't directly affect me. I came to the conclusion that news usually always made me feel less good than before. I recognised that I was not taking the time to see a variety of news sources and get differing views, so what I was getting was incredibly biased. It was death, disaster, or some kind of controversy on repeat. I was not being uplifted in any way, shape or form. I realised that my life is going to be short enough. I sometimes don't have enough time for the stuff I really want, so why was I wasting a precious second on all of this negative stuff? If I need to know something, of course I can go and look it up. My own research will be tailored to what I want or need. I don't feel like I'm missing out in any way. I feel like everything in my life is slightly better without consuming the news in the way that I used to. I save some money, I save some worry, I save some anxiety, and I save some time. All good things in my opinion. I'd love to know about your news relationships. Drop me a DM and let me know. Check out the show notes on this podcast or any other episode. You'll find details about the Drink Less, Live Better 2023 retreat. You'll see the link to a hidden podcast episode to help you with your 5 p.m. cravings, and you'll be able to read about my one-to-one coaching program. I'd love it if you could follow and download the podcast, and if you feel inclined to leave a review, that would be lovely too. Thank you for listening in today. Come back again next week, and P.S. I believe in you.